Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle, and we're having coffee in my beautiful Braveheart mug. These days, Braveheart is up. We can all use a little bit of courage, bravery, and fortitude to make it through the onslaught of all the information coming through, coming at us, all the collective energy, and all that we put on ourselves. And that's what today's video is about. Archangel Uriel came through this morning with this impression that we wanted to talk about today, which was the harshest judgment you have of you. And what the truth of that is. So, our harshest judgments, our mean girls, our mean guys that are right there in the back of our mind, are pretty awful to us in many ways. And so, this harshest judgment, the thing, and for many, many of us at this time, almost everyone is inundated with the belief that I'm not enough. I've never been enough. I'm not going to be enough. There's just too much. And that's a very insidious, very much an implanted belief that's come from generations back. But this lifetime, when we see all of what is going on in the world, all that everyone is doing, we can easily fall into, oh my gosh, they're the special ones. They have something I don't have. I'm not enough. I need to be different. Look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. And this harshest judgment can absolutely inundate your whole existence with the inability to bring through what only you can bring through in this lifetime. And when we fall into the harshest judgment, what we look for then in others is evidence of that. So we will look at them and put them on this pedestal of, oh my God, they're doing so much better than I am. I mean, look where they started. Look where I am. Look where I should be at my age. Where am I? What have I done? I mean, we fall into such a mean space towards ourselves that it can take some digging out of to step back into, know, everything that I've done and gone through in this life has led me to this moment being exactly perfect for what I want to bring through. Now, that isn't to say that we can't learn from our inner voice, learn to actually choose much of the time the opposite belief system that's being implanted. And so when we're in our harshest judgment, we will find evidence in the world of that. And we will judge others in that light. We will attempt to bring others down to the level we feel we are at in order for us to feel more comfortable. So our harshest judgment goes out into the world, goes out into the others. And so what we're doing is creating more of that harsh judgment, of that not lovely time to be uh, bringing into this world, that not lovely feeling. Sorry, I was kind of focused on the time. When people show up in the chat, I just realized it was at the time of the morning they posted, not the length of the chat. Silly stuff. But so our harshest judgment. The sacred forest our oracle wanted to come through with the overarching message. Guardians of the land, protection. And sometimes we need protection from us. We need to protect our energy from this collective, from our past thought patterns. Well, like that's hard. How do I do that when I'm inside me all of the time? Of course, I'm going to say I'm open, willing, and ready for my guides to come in and help me realize when I'm speaking meanly to myself. And I can guarantee for most of us right now, it's pretty much all the time. But we need to become aware, because once we become aware, we can choose differently. And literally in your head or out your mouth, say, cancel, cancel. I choose to be, I choose to know, I choose. Very powerful words. So I'm not as special as they are that are out there doing this thing. Cancel, cancel. I choose to be aware of how I am special and what I came to bring. And this never elevates you above anyone, because how we are special is very much in a balanced energy, bringing through what only we can bring through. But until we achieve the balance, we can't allow it through. We can allow snippets of it and go, God, I wish I could believe that all the time. We have to consciously choose the belief that we are all that and a bag of chips. We are special. We are powerful. We do get to stand in the power of being who we are. Easy as it can be. We are just who we are. That sounds a whole lot easier than it is to bring through, because we've spent a life trying to measure up and fit into the boxes of others. And until we let go of those boxes by choice, I choose to release the boxes that have held me tightly in. I choose to stand in the power and understanding of who I am. I choose to protect myself from the mean girl. And we have to hear that mean girl. We have to know the mean guy so that we know when to protect ourselves, which means cancel, cancel. I choose this and I place myself in a cobalt blue pyramid of light. That helps protect us from the collective, which isn't necessarily haranguing us, but they are certainly haranguing each of themselves. And so we can fall into that very crummy, crappy energy. Good morning, April. Oh, thank you for choosing to be here today. Appreciate the time you share with us. Well, thank you for choosing to be here today, you bright little light. I'd met April online before she came to the retreat. And when she walked in, it was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea her brightness, because I hadn't really been in her presence. Now we can know other people and know their amazingness, which I already knew about her. But until I got in her presence, I had no idea what a bright light she was. And I guess maybe, April, that's not something you know all the time, is it? Well, take it from me, you are. So, protection. Protect your energy from that of the collective. Just place yourself in a cobalt blue pyramid of light every day and be open, willing, and ready to be led to being aware of when you're being mean to yourself or believing things that are not true, and choosing cancel, cancel. I choose this. The next card that came up was bog, stagnation. That's a hint that we are hiding, that we are not allowing ourselves to grow and expand because of old belief systems. This is not my favorite card because it's kind of brown and ugly, which stagnation never smells very good and never feels very good. So the mean girl, in an effort to protect, which is what she's doing. Oh, Stephanie, well, that was lovely. She said, I woke up thinking of you today, so I must need to be hearing your message. Yeah, Archangel Uriel and Archangel Michael are coming through today with this very powerful message about self-judgment and what it really is and what it does. And so it is time for us to give up on beating ourselves up, on being so humble and not being, boastful. Tell people what you're good at, because there's a reason you're good at it. You need to bring it through. And if you can truly own it, great. You know what? I'm good at a lot of things. Truth is, I'm not a master of too many, except this empowered energy work. I'm a master of that. I have lived with that all my life. Now, I've not known that, but I know that I have brought through these angels. I know that I have overcome myself on so many occasions and continue to learn. And that's really what we're here for. So be gentle with yourself, be asked to be shown how it is you defeat yourself and what you really want to do on a regular basis. Ask what kind of programming. And then most of the time, the answers come in our minds, and we didn't make it up. It was how it was answered. Good morning, Donna. But then we go, I just made that up. Start trusting yourself. I choose to begin to trust myself more. Simple as that. And you will receive things that are going to help that become your truth. You are so powerful. And yet we stumble along not knowing that. If I can give you one thing this morning, it is, I am so powerful. Now, what does that look like in the world for me? How can I be that in balance so that I know who I am, and yet it lords over no one? It eclipses no one else. When you stand in your divine power and you release these mean-spirited judgments that have served for many reasons to hold us down, then you stand in balance, and your divine love wants everyone else to be in their divine balanced love, because then we're all on equal footing, bringing through our highest and best for the world. How does it get any better than that? It doesn't. Donna says, I'm finally allowing myself to know my power. Yay! Yay! I have a very funny story about understanding my power and my conversation and what happens. In both instances, I went, okay, as I got the message, you just need to know your power. One time I was standing in a river, one time I was walking in the mountains, and I went, I'm willing to understand my power. You just show me my power. And when I was walking in the mountain, I went, you know what? I would like to see a jackrabbit. If I could see a jackrabbit, I know I'd have the power to conjure, to bring things to me, I understand the power of my intention even more. So I'm walking along, because we don't have a lot of jackrabbits around here anymore, because many years ago, before I moved here, they did a bunny bopping thing because they were overrun with rabbits, because they brought in coyotes for the rabbits, and they had to start killing the coyotes. But nonetheless, I didn't see a jackrabbit. I was like, okay, so I get in the car, drive down my road, and there underneath the wagon in someone's front yard is this big black and white domestic bunny. I was like, oh, funny God. I mean, I have kind of a sarcastic, sassy sense of humor, and so does God with me. Second one, I'm standing in the river again. Went, okay, up to this point, we'd seen zero hints. It was fall. This river was fished out, not even the minnows touching the surface at night. And I went, all right, I'm willing to understand my power. Show me my power. And in my mind, what I saw was all these little tiny fishes just coming up, saying hello, just fishing, swimming in front of me. I'm standing in the water, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye comes the biggest fish. I mean, the sucker was probably 18 inches long, and just lazing in front of me, swam right by me, wasn't concerned. And again, I cracked up and went, oh, you're funny, God. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm a smart ass, and so are you. It's like, you've got the power, but I'm not just going to spoon feed it to you. Part of your journey is understanding how to access your power. And one way to do that is to quit being so self-judgmentally harsh. The next one coming up is coming to life. Look at that card. They are full of life. This also brings me to movement in our lives and somatic movement. If there's any one trait you want to bring in, especially one that is opposite of something you've been telling yourself in your harsh judgment for so long, do it with movement. One of the things when I do the daily energy routine, the last thing I do is put my fist in the empowered position, and I make a muscle contraction going, yes, yes, yes. Because when you combine movement with a thought process and a belief system you're working on, it becomes that much more embedded within you. You are creating a new neural pathway. That's one of the reasons affirmations can work, but you really want to combine them with movement, and you want to be brought into the awareness of the opposite of what it is you're bringing to you. How has that been played out in my life? I choose to release that now. So then you state the opposite and you go, yes, yes, yes. And we do have to do this kind of on a regular basis at the beginning, because we've spent a great deal of time confirming the opposite, confirming what we don't want. And so now it's time to jump into the what we do want. The next card, this is the Rooted Woman deck, the call. Yes, it is here. Now, this is your call right now. because the world needs you to show up in your power, in your amazingness, in your light. And the first way to do that is stop telling yourself you're a piece of crap. That really, really does sum up the entire belief system I've had most of my life up until recently, up until now. 3 powerful words. When I say something like this, I am canceling that out by saying up until now. So that sum up belief about me is I'm a piece of shit up until now. I cancel that. But that has been the truth in this underlying, I mean, literally how I felt about me. I shared once the picture of the mean girl and how I envisioned myself from her perspective. And it was awful. It was the only watercolor I have ever done to date. And it is such an accurate depiction of how I have allowed myself to bumble along and be inundated with powerlessness. So it is time now. This is an incredibly huge moment of change. This is the mountain. There we go. I'm trying to get it so the lights aren't shining too bright on it. The mountain. Look at that gaping hole. I mean, it's big. This is not an easy, gentle, loving card. This is an arduous journey. You have been on one. You have been in this place I don't deserve. I'm nothing special. I don't really have anything special to bring to the world. And I promise you, you do. And if you're ready to step into your power, to really understand how to own the truth of you, how to become more of what you desire to be in this world, consider one of my retreats. I do believe I will be holding one May next year here, maybe April, end of April, first part of May, here in the US on the Payette River, and I am holding one in Ireland. Both of them are 7-day retreats because there is a lot and you need integration time. Rarely do our shifts happen immediately, which is good because we really could not handle the huge change that happens when we don't have time to really feel it, bring it in, massage it in, and allow it to seep into us. So the mountain is this, it's a climb. You've spent a lifetime to this point believing otherwise, exercising those otherwise beliefs that have kept you caught in this cycle of non-love for self, self-debasing, self-loathing, self-beating up. None of that is going to help you move forward. You know, it just, if you've hated your body, which I'm saying 95% of the women in the world, well, let's put it this way, because I don't know how women feel in other worlds about their bodies, but I do know how US women have been socialized about the body. It's never okay. It's never right. It's never acceptable. We've hated it. We've loathed it. We've beat it up. We've tried to squish it into submission. And this beautiful body keeps limping along, trying to help us be what we think it needs to be. Think of your body as an old pet that has really tried to do its best, particularly an old dog. Very loyal creatures, very loving, very forgiving. That's our body. Start choosing to love your body, especially if you have health issues. You know, when you think about all that negative energy we have fed into the body over the years, men and women, it begins to believe it and try to create what it believes you want it to be. Start uncreating it. The next card coming up in the Rooted Woman is the Wasteland. Again, not a lovely, lovely high vibe card. And I'm going to pull the last card with it because, education. You do need to be educated about where you've been in your life. Not everyone is in the wasteland, but I can guarantee you we've been there. And a lot of times, because the uncomfortable times are where we learn the most, unfortunately, at times we have learned to embed more of the powerlessness. I'm nothing. I'm not worthy. I don't, see when the shadows come up at that full moon and it's old belief systems coming up for us to remove it, to release it, we double down and we create more of it. Yeah, see, this is who here it is again. Obviously, I'm nothing. And so the standing in your power is when these wasteland times come up, you start believing differently. There is some educational processes that need to happen. One of you asked the other day if I would do a manifestation class, and I can absolutely do that, but it comes from that place of power. Is what manifestation is about. It's the power of shifting your energies. I know, Ronnie, you have been very heavily weighted, my dear, and it's time to unweigh. It's time to let go of the weighty things that have kept us in the dark, that have kept us in a place of powerlessness, not allowing our light to shine. At one point I was with Ronnie in part of her journey where she was really beginning to shine. And that was uncomfortable. And so she dimmed her light and she kind of stepped back. And so it's now time to choose differently. That's really all it takes is a different choice, but it takes it several times, especially for the big ways we have held ourselves back. It's a constant thing. We are constantly learning. That's what life is. It is education. Good morning, Julia. Julia, it's time for you to reach out for me. Just saying. We need to do some work. Education. We all need to be educated on who we are. We don't any longer want or need to be seeking from others our specialness. We want to erase all the bullshit that we've put over top of that specialness. We have been socialized and past lives. There is a concerted effort to keep the light workers contained. So anytime you're willing to step in and buy that your happiness, your enoughness, your joy comes from other people, they are way willing to jump in and go, yep, because you can't do it yourself. You're nothing without the beliefs of others. How have you tried to shape yourself, put yourself in boxes to be pleasing, pleasant enough for the others? At times it's been the railing of putting up the walls of fuck you and all that you say to me. Nobody's going to do that to me again. The anger has been how we've protected ourselves. We don't need that. We don't need the opinions. We need to find the self-love. And that pure love and joy tool on a regular basis is hugely powerful in filling yourself with more love, less harsh self-judgment, less harsh judgment of the world. I invite you to challenge yourself for 1 minute a day to practice the pure love and joy tool. Remember, get to that place of heart swelling feeling, and then send that to a situation in your life where you're struggling, particularly with another person, because you will see a great idea. I had to find forgiveness of myself. Very good point, Donna. We want to be forgiving of ourselves because until we forgive ourselves, we can't grow. We keep beating ourselves up. That's what the unforgiveness is. So it's time. Thank you for bringing that up, Donna, that it is time to forgive ourselves. It is time to dream, daydream, be the bringers of light, starting with the Pure Love and Joy tool. I'm going to suggest to a group that I'm with, that's a family that I'm not actually a member of, but to shed pure love and joy on a situation and a person involved in a great deal of heartache for this family. And doing this, the several of us, for 2 weeks, just 1 minute a morning, sending pure love and joy to that person in their misguidedness. Not even that. We're not going to say the misguidedness. We're just going to send pure love and joy to that person. And then I will report back to you the shift. I know there will be one. It is such a powerful tool. And hint here, you can shed the pure love and joy on you. If you're your harshest critic, which most of us are, it is perfectly okay for you not to be altruistic and working on everyone else, because that one message that's come through since January is you do you. and the world benefits. So shed for 1 minute a day for the next 2 weeks. I challenge you. If whenever you see this video, if you are in the comments, write, I'm in 2 weeks. Set a timer on your phone, set an end date, and then report back the shifts that you felt inside yourself, the shift in whatever situation that you're working on. And another hint, it wouldn't be a bad thing to shed that pure light country. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until we meet again.